Oh, hip it. What am I doing all the way up there? What am I doing all the way up there? That's not where I go. That's where I go. How'd I do that? There you go. Good morning, good afternoon, good day, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are. Is that how I'm gonna start the streams now? That seems like a mouthful. Might be how I end every stream. We'll see. Either way, hello everybody. Whatever time of the day it is. We're kind of mixing it around. I think this will be, at least for the time being, where I'm going to find the time to draw. Uh, and then tomorrow I'll probably do something a little bit different as well, moving forward, as I had to shuffle some things around to be able to make some time. And that's fine. So just to kind of like, just been busy recently. So we're going to continue working on the painting I started last week. Hopefully going to get it done today. If not, I'll try to clean it up on my own time, as I always say that I will. We'll see. Uh, but we're welcome to the stream, everyone. I'm your host, Isaac MCCanary. I started a painting last week. Hopefully we're going to finish it this week. I'm going to start off just by doing a warm-up, because the painting itself is going to be a little bit more involved than just a background. But I've been working on it. I've been doing a little bit more studying and research to understanding stuff that I didn't really understand before, that I definitely understand now, that helps a lot. And for now, what we got to do is we're going to start by warming up with a couple of practice sketches for a couple of subjects that we're going to add to the piece. First one that comes to mind. I actually want this to be kind of a larger subject. And I want to just start by sketching in what I think will be their general position. Because the big thing to understand is exactly how much space this will take. As well as to just, you know what, warm up, get the basics of what I'm going to be drawing. And really, I just need to focus on getting a lot of planes and stuff down, is what I'm focused on. This is just a... This right here is just going to be a still life sketch. Essentially, my goal is near the beginning of every stream, I'm going to do effectively like just a quick still life, especially of any subject that I'm doing, regardless if I've already drawn the subject or not. I should do a still life just to like re-examine and make sure I didn't miss anything, because could have been stuff that I missed. And one of the things I want to get a lot better at, generally speaking, I want to get better at being able to still life something out that I am paying better attention to how much of something there is sometimes. I feel like one of the things I particularly do that is not necessarily good, I spend a little bit of time not I don't spend enough time really examining a subject. I really should do that more. Again, just some quick sketching just to get an idea of shapes and stuff. Interesting. Like a fold. There's a fold there that I didn't know about. And this is something that I encourage anybody. Also on your own drawing kind of understanding and adventure. Trying to figure out how things work. Be willing to find a subject and really be willing to study things about it. And like actually take note of details. Something I not always the best at. In fact, I need to zoom this in. Always make sure you're zoomed in enough. And I've just really want to try to better job of seeing how these shapes of things really like work together. Is something that I've struggled with time to time to figure out where things were placed and whatnot. There we go. Interesting. And I knew that they had kind of like chunky, but they're actually surprisingly slender near the end. They taper out more than I expected them to. There we go. This all terminates into a pretty thick. Now this is interesting. This bevels means, yeah, there's like this right here. It's the center of the tail. There's actually two ridges. Run the length of the tail. Side. Starting like that. Yeah. And then you just sketch in the rest of the owl. And you just draw the rest of the owl. You know how it goes. One of the things I need to remember. Sketchiness is not as much just throwing things on as you might think. Like, it can be. You're still building stuff, so you still gotta pay attention to where things go. Huh. That. I didn't know that did that. They have a nose. Then they have a nose. one of the things that I'm like starting to understand a little bit better is the way to like get faster at certain things is not by it. It's weird. You get faster at stuff like this when you actually get more disciplined to be able to put a line or something where you actually want it, right when you want it. There we go. That's how you get faster at anything. And this is just using a reference. How many spikes? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. You have 4 larger spikes. You have 3 larger spikes. Base of the wing. Always. What will be important to remember is how these so say if I have the light shining from the right, this would be darker. This would be darker. Maybe a little bit lighter. Boy, I wonder who I'm going to put in this one. I'll never be able to tell. What'll be interesting for me, particularly, I feel like, with this kind of thing, is that a lot of my kind of like development so far has really focused and hinged on better like taking the time to understand the shape of something, I guess. 5 tail spikes. Make sure there are 5 tail spikes. They come out. They come out the tail. It's so funny too. Direction also plays a huge part. I didn't realize that you really want to be paying attention to the direction that you draw things out from. Drawing things out from the right direction will make it feel make it a lot more sense when you actually pull something out to actually get the shape and everything correct. There you go. There is just a test. Understand the shape of Barioth. This is just a test to understand the shape of Barioth. This is what Barioth is shaped like. Barioth. I've always said Barioth personally. Couple of bumps there. These 2 legs should line up here. And this one actually should be Oh, I see a mistake I made. This arm actually needs to be down a little bit. You'll see. Then I take my scissors, move everything else down. That's much better. Made it too high. Oopsie. Interesting how that fold works, though. And just thinking about kind of something like that. Actually, this will be probably lighter, and this would be darker. The light's coming in this way. This is also underneath the body. Highlight there. Highlights there. Largely speaking, if the light's coming from this way, and this is just to, again, get an idea of where light will be plane-wise. This isn't final. Nothing about this is finalized. Get an idea of what Barioth is shaped like. That's what Barioth is shaped like. I think that's a pretty good start. Pretty good idea of what Barioth is shaped like. Let's see, like, and just to... So one of the things I want to make sure here... Like, if we're going to do this... We do something like that. Make sure. Doing something like this. Airplane ears. Something like that. And again, the big thing that's going to be different that I have to remember, perspective-wise, is that... Well, now I don't remember. Ah, shoot. Ah, shit. Now I'm not going to be able to remember. Ah, beans. You actually probably still want this more closed. I have the mouth open there, but I actually want it probably more closed. exaggerate the eye a little. We'll add one paw. We'll probably do one paw, and this is what it's going to be. We're going to have foreground, our forest foreground, we're going to have a Barioth in the front, right? I think something like that. Maybe off in the distance, we're going to add... Well, I added a predator. I added an herbivore. Let's see. I added Popos. Let's add Baggy. Let's add my boy, Baggy's. Baggy. Regular ass Baggies. They're going to be kind of a shit picture of a Baggy. I mean, not good. Sorry. Dude, I need a swear jar. I need a swear jar. Mr. Ross would have me have a swear jar. He would. But he would still be like, because I care about you, not because he would like be mad with me. We're gonna do... Perfect. Well, we're gonna add just like a couple of Baggy. Here's how we're gonna do it. I like this crouched pose that one of them has, so I'm gonna work off of that. They have surprisingly long arms. They have incredibly long arms, actually, Baggy. Need to make a little bit more space. Something like that. And honestly, this is something that I've been wanting to... This is something I've always had an interest in, both for my paleo art and for my general design. I love being able to take established design like this and then work with it a little bit. You're a pest. What do you want? Why? Being loud? What? Hello? Hello? What are you doing? Hello? Cream monster? Creamy monster? What do you desire? What does the boy desire? What does the boy desire? I see what you're trying to do. You ain't sneaky. You're not sneaky. And then... something like this. I actually, this is really fun to draw. I love drawing, uh, I'm particularly fond of drawing, uh, Manuraptor and Theropods, so it does not surprise me that drawing just a regular Baggy is like, I like doing this. I wish they cared more about the tiny creatures. I feel like sometimes the minor life, though I feel like Wilds is doing a pretty good job with it, honestly. Baggy. Baggy. Bag to baggy. The idea is I'm using a reference, but I'm not trying to draw exactly what the reference has. I'm trying to use it to get like my own kind of understanding of the space that I'm working with. Actually, stuff there, and largely speaking, patterning down the back, that. Something like that. Kind of like that. Yeah, kind of like that. Interesting. They've got kind of like a. They don't. That what's funny is they don't have just a traditional theropod head. Actually, they do have a very different, unique head shape. I mean, it is more dragony than it is theropod necessarily. There is some in there, but it's different. That informs us of what kind of shape that they are. Oh, that came out good. I like that. Just to give it a little bit of texture to stand. Oops. I have to juggle the goblin. Yeah, that informs us baggy. Barioth, baggy. Trying to think. That's the thing is like I feel like I picked an ice biome and I was like, I want to choose something from every generation, and it's like there's not really anything that hits in every generation, right? Like I feel like that's something that is not the case. So we've got a Barioth. Thought about doing Tigrex, but I actually want to do Barioth. I think Barioth is a much more interesting design comparison, um, as far as like doing that kind of creature. I think it's a more unique design, and I do like Barioth. I do like Barioth quite a bit. Um, One of my favorite sword and shields. We're gonna do Barioth, definitely. We're gonna do Barioth, definitely. He's and then I was thinking, let's see, what do we got? Monster Hunter, Endemic Life, Tundra. That's something I didn't even know was in the game. What do we got? Tundra, let's see, veggies, portable third. Oh. S? Who wants my attention? Let's see. They're not. Y'all suck. I wish these could be categorized by ecological niche, but they're not. Gotcha. Hi, Creeper. Trying to do research, and turns out that the Monster Hunter fandom is bad at categorization. Sucks. What? I have a very big crybaby. Oh, the penguins. I should add some of the penguins. Hell yeah, I should add some of the penguins. They should be easy. Yeah, because they'll be something like this. I'm glad that this is the picture they gave for the penguin. Very good picture. Being a brat. You're being a brat. I love you. You've learned that at least 2 other people in Discord think Celeste is a fun game. We actually streamed Celeste. It is quite a fun game. It is quite good. Highly recommend. It's very good, very solid. I wouldn't even say it's overrated, because, like, it's pretty... I would argue it's pretty... It's pretty reasonably rated. Like, most people pretty much agree that it's just very solid. Have to juggle the cat. Go. Ah. Yeah, this will be easy. Almost done with my warm-up, by the way. Mainly, this just allows me to kind of get started. In this case, it allows me to really know what kind of things I want to add more than anything else. Gives me the idea of what creatures I have in mind. This is just a penguin. This is just a penguin. Why wouldn't it be? Just a penguin. And I'm glad that it's just a penguin. Absolutely, I'm just going to give him these kinds of feed because it's easier to draw. And it's fun. And it's a penguin. What's my favorite kind of creature to draw? Oh, come on now. You should know. Any Manuraptoran, any kind of Manuraptoran Dromaeosaur is probably my top favorite. If I can draw a dinosaur, specifically a Manuraptoran Dromaeosaur, I will. It's just like my go-to warm-up. I don't honestly know why at this point. It's always that. I have no idea why. this a little bit darker. Actually, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make this all darker, so that way that part stays lighter. And that's gonna give me an idea of all of that. Then the darkest part. This should give me an idea of how the colors kind of go on these penguins. That little bit darker. Yeah. That's a penguin. I have made a penguin. Yeah. Always, always, always. Current highest death count is in chapter 3. Oh boy, don't worry, that'll go up. There's some later chapters that will be that will get you. Not to be like not to be like, "Oh, do you know?" Like, no, that's normal. That's normal. It's normal. It's like a part of the experience. Um it's not supposed to be also a like you prepare to suffer. No, not at all. That game's actually not very much about that kind of thing. Actually, much more about overcoming a struggle than it is about suffering. Not about suffering. Penguin! Penguin! Ooh, little penguin. Ooh, little pengu. Someone were to draw a crab and wanted to put it in Discord, would it go in the drawing channel or the crab channel? Both. Either. Yes. Arts and crafts is for crabs. Crab art. And then the art channel's for all art. So yes, both. It would go in both. All right. So what we've done here, this is our nice warm up. I think we're good. Yeah. I'm gonna say like try not to make this segment any more than an hour because it's just to like kind of get an idea of some stuff and like get my brain kind of thinking and considering how I want to do certain things. Now, you're going to do. This is not how I switch. I'm going to switch over the actual subject. It's here. We might not even add anything yet, because really what I need to focus on first is I need to focus on trees. Just gonna add some. Kind of try to give them different direction. You are being feel distraction right now. Just the cat. Just the cat. Really just trying this on. There we go. Now I'm starting to understand how these kinds of work. Just about. Add in some twigs. Kind of like that. Right now, I'm just penciling in some more definition on stuff. All I'm really focused on right now. Then take this, maybe a little bit more of a solid green. A little bit more. That side. Right? Go larger. Just want to focus on how put in leaves. Just really focus on it. Do a better job putting in my that one has just a little bit of a trunk shot. Juniper bush there. And I'm learning it's trees kind of work in patches. I was putting way too much single patch. I was like trying to fluff it out. I was trying to like add way too much where there wasn't supposed to be anything. Working ahead. Which happens. Happens. And again, I'm not trying to add too much yet. I'm actually really trying to focus more in on like filling it out and like putting the medium where I actually want it, which is hard. That is a difficult thing to figure out how to do, is how do you put the medium exactly where you want it? I think that takes a lot of time and patience to learn and understand, is like you need to be mindful. You have to be very, very mindful of where you actually want certain parts of your medium to go. Otherwise, you end up making a big mess. That's okay. Sometimes it's okay to make a mess. You just gotta learn. Still gotta clean up. You still gotta clean up your messes. That's fine. feel like there's a lot of emphasis on the idea that you shouldn't make a mess, and I don't agree with that. I think messes are actually pretty important. I think it's important to remember that you can mess things up, but it is on your responsibility to have to fix those messes, and that's okay. You know, look, I worked the wrong direction. Now I gotta figure that out. Actually, this I need to start in the back first. Is what I need to start with. Just gotta be willing. Let things work the way that they're going. As well as be able to be willing to change my width when I need to change it. There. I also need to be willing to have some trees that don't have leaves, some trees that have more leaves, some that don't have any leaves at all. Some leaves are top, some are bottom. Really focus on more trying to build that kind of stuff out. I, given that this is a kind of more of a tundra taiga setting, really trying to focus more on a lot of evergreens, a lot of conifers. Given the setting, I don't anticipate there's not these are all cold climate trees, so and I'm not super familiar with any particularly special non conifer cold weather trees. I feel like most cold weather trees are conifers. I think so. And who knows? Maybe I don't finish this today. I'm honestly just going to do as much as I can, and we're going to really just focus, just kind of zen out, honestly. Maybe today is just a vibe day. I mean, I'm making good progress. No matter what, I'm making good progress. That's always something good. You're out there making progress. That's always a good thing. I have a shorter tree here. Front. Color one here. Add the tree. Add. You know the ones. Distracted. Add a couple more fainter ones in the back. Really give this a foresty vibe. Yeah, I like how that's coming out. That's really nice. And this will give me something to like cling on to as I work. That's a big thing. It's like this will give me a lot to be able to actually hold on to while I give my second coat, my second layer. But a lot of this will establish. Mr. Ross, if you're out there, I hope that you knew how good things were. Not good, but you know what I mean. Yeah, that really helps a lot with being able to add a little bit more definition, definitely, and give you a little bit more of a guidance, as well as a way to, like, mix up different parts. I'm gonna go a little bit bigger. And I'm really trying to work. I'm trying to train myself. This is something that I'm trying to do better. Trying to do better that I've noticed is you work from top to bottom, back to front. Top to bottom, back to front. So I really had to fight myself. Like I'm used to going left to right. That is the thing. I don't think of my piece, like whatever I'm working on, as the depth of the piece. That's just something that I hadn't really trained. It's just not something that I really focused on myself to try to get better at. Not because I shouldn't, actually I should, but it's just where I started. Where I started, I worked a lot left to right. Left to right is one dimension. You don't really think of depth. You just think of flat. You just think of what you're staring at. Think of the side of a car. If you're looking at the side of a car, or the side of a dinosaur in my case, you're not thinking about the dinosaur laterally. You're just thinking from the head to the tip of the tail. Start drawing at the head and move down the body. That's totally valid and a normal way to draw. But when it comes to this, I have to think depth wise. I have to think more depth wise, which will help me in those cases because it will mean I'm focused on, even if I'm drawing left to right, I'm focused on drawing back to front. I think that's something that will help a lot, is being able to draw from back to front, regardless of the position and the perspective that I'm working with. Okay, what I need to do, first we need to go, like, just very lightly back here. To think about space behind a little bit better. A little bit better, I need to think about the space behind. I hadn't really considered. I'm just being a lot more precise and a lot more determined how I place certain things. So, start with a lighter, and then for this one that's a little bit closer, we go a little bit darker, a little bit lighter. One's in behind, and you get a little bit more definition. I'm noticing a lot more definition in my piece. especially with the way that I handled a lot of those trees. A lot of the trees look much, much better now. Build it out a little bit more. Tree. There, like that. Lighter back here. Look at that. That looks really, really nice. And then just to start peppering it up a little bit. Now, I guess evergreens are a lot darker, a little bit duller, so the shade should still be more that. Just trying to add a little bit of counter shading, make it pop a little more. And I'm learning that it's not random. You don't randomly put this stuff in. You do think about where exactly you want certain kinds of shades and shapes to go. Use your brain. You have to use your brain. You have to use your brain. At least a little bit. It's tough. It's tough. That looks much better though. Then just to get pulling it up. Little bit of lift. Start blending it up so that way it kind of blends out into the background a little bit and feels like a forest. Feels like a proper forest. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna merge you down. That's separate, but down and merge this down. Ooh, I like the way that that works. I want to avoid that spot. Make sure I that the same. Ooh, that's fun. I like that. Kind of how the see how it kicks up the snow a little bit. That's cool. That's so cool actually. I love that. That looks so good. And here's something that I just kind of want to like get a little bit more in the practice of like given that I use a slightly different medium to begin with, I need to be willing to like take a step back and be like, okay, I need to add maybe a little bit more medium here and a little bit more medium there. Still not at the point that I can just blanketly add medium. I need to always be adding a little bit more. That's fine. That's totally fine, I think. This isn't painting. This is technically not painting, so being able to add just a little bit more. Darkness here. And add a little bit more depth. Maybe. Shader. What? Like that. And maybe a little bit of snowdrift coming up. Like that. You just gotta work the medium into what you want it to. That takes just some practice. Smother this a little bit more. More kind of foresty look. This out a little bit. What's funny is I feel like this kind of like blending is something that I've done both in digital and non-digital work for a long time. I just kind of fell out of practice with it. That happens. Sometimes you just fall out of practice. Okay, go back to my green. We try to emphasize those areas that I already have kind of built out a little bit. And I'm just trying to add like a little bit more. That's some there, because I'm gonna be going over it anyways at some point. Gaps, I'm just going to kind of like fill in with a little bit more peppering. Just kind of like that. We'll try. I want to add a little bit of counter color. I want to add like just start adding a little bit of something. Just to give it like a little bit more pop. Just something like that. And the goal, since the program is smart enough, to figure out what I want. Just have to let it work like it would as a physical medium, because that's exactly what physical medium, scatter and stuff is like something that a physical medium would do. Just about taking the time, going in and adding a little bit. And all it does is help define out a bit more of what where those trees are looking. I don't want to add a bunch. I want to keep it fairly minute. Trying to decide, do I want that more? No. Circles? Circles a little bit better. Circles a little bit better. A little bit more line there. Yeah, I like the way that that looks. I want I want that line. I want something like that. That's what I want. We're going to go back in here, see if we can give these guys a little bit more definition. I think I made them a little bit too undefined. They don't have to be detailed, but they do need to have a little bit more definition. Have them sunk into the snow a little bit. Kind of like that. Kind of like that. Just trying to give them a little bit more definition. You can actually tell what they're supposed to. There we go. Hopefully that'll help a little bit. Little bit more. That's a bit more. That helps. A little bit thicker. Add a little bit more M coming this way. A little bit more medium sway. A little bit more precise with my blending tool, so that way I'm not. Don't want to get rid of the like kind of hard edges that they have. Don't want to get rid of that. There we go. Had a little bit of snow going up against him. It's a tough winter all the time in the tundra. There. Like that. Same thing here. Something like that. Give him a little bit of a shake. Gotta shave your. Gotta shave the popo every now and then. Take that out of context. Yeah, those look a lot better too. You can actually tell what they are now. And that's the thing, is you just gotta like be much more. Blah. You gotta put in more, is what I'm learning. You want in specific kinds of effects. Yeah, that looks really, really good. And blend out some of these trees. Trying to pay a little bit closer attention to the directions I blend. That way they actually make sense. I don't necessarily want to get rid of a tile. I do here. Something like this. Just kind of give a little bit more shape up that way. Yeah, like that. Closer ones, I'm just giving a little bit more of a tip. A little bit more of a tip, a little bit more of a definition. That's better. I want this one to have kind of a weird top. I want this one to have a top. Got a bit of a weird top. Let it have a bit of a weird top. Sometimes I got a bit of a weird top. That I like. I like that quite a bit. That looks really, really good, actually. I like that a lot. And a bit more. Really, I'm just trying to add a little bit of definition to some of these, but not so much that it distracts. I might blend it out a little bit. I might blend it out a little bit, but largely speaking, I want this to like be like that. And then let's try, so, little circle. Just little circles. Incorporated a little time. I don't want it to overpower. I want it to be a complement to the shapes to try to like get more tree shapes in there without overpowering everything. That's better. That's better. And this is something that I've been practicing more and just like learning about being able to manipulate the medium a little bit better is like just being able to go back and forth. Since I don't have the benefit, I have to discreetly pick between whether I'm going to be on a blending spree or on a adding media spree. I have to remember that I have to separate those two and I have to do them one at a time. It is one of the advantages that Bob Ross had with a live medium is that he was able to apply medium where he needed it and then use the same tool to blend based on how much medium he had on the brush. He also utilized the medium on canvas to pick up medium to be able to displace it elsewhere. That's just something I have to figure out how to do. I just had to figure out that diffusing process that works best for me with this. And this is kind of what I'm settling on. I think this is working quite well. And from there, it's just about finding a comfortable way to blend things out. I just have to remember that add medium, have to switch to it. Always got to just add a little bit at a time, as you would, about where it would be. And then switch back to your blending tool. Back to blending. Like how you. Just like that. It's just all about thinking about how the tools would work, where you need to apply them, get the most use out of them. Bob Ross is very, very good at at having a good familiarity with a lot of the work that he's doing from that standpoint, I think. Add a little medium, medium, blend, medium, blend. That's all I'm trying to do. Is I'm just trying to add a little medium at a time. Kind of develop and flesh it out a little bit at a little bit at a bit. And this also gets me a little bit more comfortable and a little bit more familiar. I gotta do to be able to make this work. And whilst I can be pretty freeform, it is a bit of an art form to be able to get to a point where you're specifically adding medium to really consider how you're like kind of like blending and growing and shaping something out instead of just added and added and added and paste over, paste over, paste over. No. Should still be wanting. Think about you're adding certain things so that way you get them exactly where you need. You don't have to redo too much. That's one thing is like he's not saying that you can and you shouldn't. He shows even ways to like redo things, but like ideally speaking, the reason why he got so fast is he found a way to do a technique to get a specific effect and do it in like one go. You really care about that. That's something you should be wanting to work for. Be able to do that. Always be willing to squint your eyes. I'll give you ideas of. I don't know what it is about eye squinting. Eye squinting just always gives you a better idea of where you might be missing something. Especially if you're blending or shading or whatever. Just allows you to see little imperfections and stuff that you can maybe hone a little bit better. There we go. Just like that. I built up that forest a little bit better. Still want to have that, like, the wind kicking up the snowdrift here. Just have to accept what it's going to do. But I want that. I want that whiteness. I want that whiteness to pop up like that. As it's blowing snow, which is really nice. It's a nice effect. It works. It works really, really well. I'm going to take this green and a little bit darker. There we go. And just focus on building out a lot of the shapes that I started out with. Okay, try to make every tree a little bit different. That's what I'm learning. You gotta eat. This is something I've noticed is I've been trying to like really look at trees, which I didn't used to do. I will say I like. It's not to say that I was like trees. What are those for? But like I just didn't really look at them before. I didn't really take the time to like what makes a tree shaped. You know. Back. There. This one up here. One back here. Back here. Just really trying to flesh that out a little bit. Curious. I want to try upward motion. Why? Just trying to give it a little bit more depth. Really, that helped. Trying to actually pay attention to where I put my lines. Where I put my lines, where I put certain things. Actually, stuff. Directions that I actually blend stuff. Like how firmly and how softly I actually blend stuff. Paying better attention. What? 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 He's screaming. He's doing what he does best. He just screams. I add a little. Couple jaggedies. That. Point this up a little bit. Go in. Well, that works really well. Also helps give a little bit more definition. Yeah, I like that. Helps give a little bit more definition, helps give a little bit more flavor. And I'm gonna just try adding some of the sticks. Adding some of them sticks. Kinda like that. We have a couple of fallen trunks in there, you know, stuff sticking out. Key is to get just enough. You have just like just enough pressure that it like tapers a little bit. Just add a little bit of texture to everything. Soften this up a little bit. Trees are hard. Trees are hard. Trees are difficult. Trying to decide if that's what I want. Back to here. This is why I work. This is why you work front to or back to front. I mean, it is. It really is. Go fine. Start adding more twigs. Twigs and shiz. Want this space to be open? Sometimes you just gotta start adding stuff. Sometimes you just gotta start adding stuff and say, this is what I want. There we go. Don't worry about that. Work in the plane that you're working in. Do not add things to places we do not need them. Do not worry about the foreground until you're ready to worry about. Don't worry about things until you're ready to worry about them. Something I have something like that. So, greens always start from the top. Just work my way down. Not gonna worry about this twig that I made. We're just gonna paint. I just need to be like, you know what? If I make a mistake like that, I'm just gonna paint over it, and then we're gonna paint back over it when I get back to it. But for now, I just need to cover that space. The biggest thing I need to keep in mind is I need to leave little pockets, little pockets where you can see little branches and stuff. And I feel like I'm learning something here on how to better apply medium that I didn't really know before, and I'm glad I do now. When it comes to adding stuff. But you kind of do have to be a little bit more firm with. Okay, look at the trees. Look at the little trees. Look at the little trees. Don't like us some little. Just kind of blend that in. Kind of like that. Take some bites out of it. Oh, okay. It's good. Sometimes I just have to be willing to be. Just got to get in there sometimes and like really just press into it. Actually get the shade or whatever you want into it. There we go. All the little trees. Look at all the little trees and bushes and stuff. Just hanging out. Now I'm just kind of like adding a little bit more. Trying to really give them the space to be able to show where the top of the tree line is. There we go. Then I think we do one solid. We're gonna do one solid, so we're gonna go a little bit thicker. Get me a couple of big old foreground limbs. This one has all the way out like that. I haven't decided yet whether or not these trees are... Oops. I haven't decided yet if these trees are here, if they're extant, if they're just some front trees. They could just be front trees. These don't have to be... These trees don't gotta be big trees. Sometimes you just have... Sometimes you just have trunks. Sometimes you just have trunks that are just... Sometimes. Don't have to be live trees. Damn, that looks really good. This looks really, really good right now, I will say. Back. Just gonna need to add a little bit more texture. Just want to add one or two. Really, the goal is not to add anything super big. A lot of this is just add a little bit more definition in the background. Yeah. I like that. That looks so good. Add a twist. Here's what we get. This is what I got to do. Now we got all that, right? Snow on the ground. Snow on the ground. What am I doing? I need to do. Just gonna salt. Just gonna salt the trees. What I need to do, bigger. Just salt the trees. Just salt the trees a little. Snow on the ground, there's snow on the trees. Of course there's snow on the trees. Why would there be snow on the trees? Gotta salt the trees. Gotta salt the trees. Don't forget to salt your trees, guys. You have to salt the trees. Never forget. Wah! You're not supposed to see that. Those are my secrets. You know, if I really cared, I would freak out more. I really don't. Like, yeah, I take notes. Gotta salt the trees. We're gonna start with one side. I know what to do for the other side. Really, just let it kind of like pull out specific trees. Maybe this one a little bit more. That's really good. This came out really, really good. I like the way that this is being handled now. Just gotta salt the trees. I forgot to salt the trees. That's what I was forgetting. I was like, I feel like it's missing something. You know what? Just a dash of salt. Just a dash of salt. So I want to specifically be in the same, so we want to be like in the same category of green of this. But I need white ever so little bit. Like that. This will give us the alternate. See how that looks. Try that. Doesn't work. So maybe a little bit darker. Go a little bit darker. A bit more green. Yeah. I want it to counter shade. I want it to be the counter shade. We're going to continue with the white first. And it's okay. The biggest thing that having situations like this will always teach you is like, what are the ways to kind of like go back and kind of touch something up if you miss something. Always remember that if you're working on multiple layers, if you're working on one layer like I do, like a maniac, there's always ways to fix up and touch up your layers and go back. Sometimes you just only got to do what you can. You can't do everything. That's fine. That works so well. Holy crap. There you go. Gonna fix that up. We're gonna go with dark. There you go. Like a little bit. Just a little bit to give it presence and some depth. What I'm learning is the importance of counter shading a lot too. Be able to give something like a proper amount of depth. Second shade. Counter shade it. Give it a little bit more. Just to give it a little bit more. I don't know what that bush is. That bush is just doing his own thing. Sometimes the bushes just do their own thing. Just let them do their own thing. They ain't hurting nobody. Always remember, sometimes the bushes are just doing their own thing. Their own thing. They ain't hurting nobody, nobody getting hurt. Don't bother nothing that ain't hurting nobody. Maybe just very... near the base to just kind of diffuse this a little. I want to keep the tops largely untouched. I don't want to go too far up. That'll diffuse out where I don't want it to be. I need to diffuse near the bottom where it won't break anything up. But near the top, I want to keep that defined, so I can't diffuse that. A little bit more white. There. There. Then counter shade. Just really pay closer attention at where certain shades are and what certain things are doing. Even if it's a digital medium, you can still let it kind of play on its own. You don't have to like force the medium where you want it. It's really difficult sometimes. Very, very difficult to not be like, I want it to be right there though. Like super minute. And you kind of have to work that out. You have to work that habit out, I think. To be still very like careful and precise and just take your time. Get a lot more. That's one thing that I've learned is like, especially with this, is like you can't be too forceful. You really can't. You want to add a little bit at a time and then maybe just know when you want to add a little bit more pressure or blending, but you still have to be very, very, very cognizant of how you're manipulating the piece. Can't can't put too much in. Otherwise you'll muddle it and cause problems. I'm gonna kind of showcase snow is just sitting on top. There we go. Pepper this with some snow, pepper it with a little bit of snow, and then I might go in with a finer one, but just give it a just a little bit of salt. Just a little bit of salt. Not much. All we're trying to do is give the effect that it's a little bit snowed on. That's all we're trying to do. Just a little bit of snow. You just gotta... One of the things I'm learning a little bit better is like just to trust the medium a little bit more. Trust myself to put the medium where I want it, and then trust the medium to do what I want it to. You know? Be difficult. It can be difficult. Because again, I'm really trying to give it that sensation and feeling that there's snow out. Then, counter shade. Get a little bit more white coming this way, because sometimes the whites kind of move like around an object. You'd be surprised that a lot of light kind of like bends around it to the backside, at least a little bit. At least a little bit. Give this a little bit more. Damn. Damn, though. That's looking really good. Like really, really good. Just gonna have to be more careful. Just adding a little bit at a time. Don't have to add a bunch. I don't have to add a bunch. I really don't. Press down enough that you definitely know that you put some media down, but not so much that you want the whole thing. There we go. Back to here. Go really light. We're gonna really thin, and then again, just kind of add in a couple more accents. just to fill it out. Front. One in front. Front. There we go. There we go. That's good. Back here. Look, would you look at that? Front. Just wherever they look good. Damn, that looks really, really good. This looks really, really, really good right now. It's only 5 o'clock. Yeah, I got about an hour left. This is looking really, 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 really good. I'm gonna read. Look at me, my certified Bub Russ. Actually, here's what we're gonna do. They're gonna have a little bit of snow on them because they also got snowed on. They got snowed on too. So take it. Just gonna lightly salt our popos. Lightly salt your popo. There we go. Kind of, they're a little bit snowy. They're a little bit snowy. A little bit of snow on them. Gotta put a little bit of snow on your boys. There. That makes them look like they're actually there and that they're in the snow. That looks appropriate. That down a little bit. Kind of define their head. There. Kind of like that. That's better. Damn. Yeah. That's so fun too. That just looks fun. I think that makes this piece look a lot more fun to do that. Adding just a little bit of snow on everything. I don't know. Added a bunch. Glad I decided to add that snow to it. And try the counter shade a little bit. Just some of the counter shade. Might need to actually be a little bit more light green like this. There we go. That's more like a bit more. White, super thin. Want to go real thin. Probably about a 5. Nope. More like a 10. There we go. Add a little bit of snow on everything. Isn't it the middle of winter, summer for you? Yeah. Yeah. It's not even that hot yet. I don't know. I know it isn't necessarily seasonally appropriate. Like, just felt like really doing some trees and doing some Arctic tundra. I don't know. I don't know. Bigger, more like 100. Do this. You'll go to hell. Goodbye. One of these days, we're gonna click that one of those on accident and be like, no, not what I wanted at all. A little bit more substance here. Just near the bottom. Break it up, make it less muted. I love the way that those snow drifts come in. And I love being able to add them like that. It's just a nice, very pleasant shading going on there. Just like a nice counter shading that's going on that just gives a little bit of depth, it gives a little bit of texture, a little bit of flavor. Get a little bit of flavor in there. And it just gives a feeling. It gives a feeling to the ground, I feel like. This has come out really good. This has come out really good so far. I think what we're gonna try now. Go to a new layer, right? Now we make a big decision. We're gonna start with need something that you can see. It'll will eventually come back with white. We need to start with a darker gray. Just add our boy. Gonna just add our boy real fast. Just the general shape of him. Something a little bit more crouched. Try to get him as close to what looks like the ground for him as possible. Have this arch up. Something like this. That's gonna be our boy. Barioth, I need to look at you. Start. Barioth, I need to zoom into you. Yeah. Something like that. This actually. Or cat-like. Just get him up here. Don't want him too much bigger. Think like maybe like that. Maybe? And again, I want to really focus. Adding a little bit at a time. Ears. Kind of the same kind of like base hue that the the or want something like that. Ears go there. Give him airplane. Give him the airplane ear. Give him the airplane ears. Just going to very carefully. We're trying to add a little bit at a time. Where exactly doing certain things to be able to pull this down. That up. That gives me that arm. Kind of like that. I need to think about how I'm going to add some of this. I like that. What I'm trying to do, just very carefully, reshape out the head. Kind of like sculpting it. Sometimes painting is a lot more like sculpting than it is like drawing, is what I've also learned over time. You'd be surprised how much more of it is feels more like sculpting than it does like, say, doing illustration or something. That's really cool. Oh, that's actually really, really cool. Yeah, we're not trying to just muddle everything. I'm actually really trying to keep track of how I'm blending instead of just having it do whatever it wants. I have to really be careful not to accidentally go over. Underneath, adding some of this. Just very carefully, a little bit of pigment at a time. Lighter one. Just something like that. A little bit of coloration there. Take this kind of softer one and use it here to give the ear a little bit more definition. A little bit more of a fleshier color. Just a little bit more. Start blending that out. He's still a little shaggy. The thing is Barioth is still, even though they've got cat-like features, they are still a dragon. For all intents and purposes, they're still a dragon. We're gonna do blue. I'm going to go really fine. Need to go really fine with this. Down to 20. Softer. Then I'm going to go over white, a little bit thicker. Something like that. Erase this out a little bit. That's better. That's better. I like that. That I like. That I like quite a bit, actually. Need to add a little bit more white. Gonna go thicker. Adding some more white on top. What I'm trying to go for, trying to just like add the white back on. That way there's a nice base underneath. Without necessarily ruining. Without necessarily washing everything out. what is kind of becoming an issue is I'm trying to figure out how best handle skews. There we go. That's better. It's at least more skewed-like. Necessarily want that yet, but I do like that effect. See, end up using that. Hmm. Start by blocking in some of this. Need to go fine. Ah, jeez. You've fallen for the trap. Oh well. Have to do what works eventually. Sometimes you just have to say, screw it, I need to do what works. Especially if you're really struggling to get, like, something to, like, line up or go the way that you need it to. You just sometimes need to be like, screw it. At least a little bit. Especially given stuff like this. But the big thing is that I need to not, I need to really focus on building out and making sure that I'm not overtaking anything. That's the big thing. That's the big concern I have, is that I end up accidentally adding too much anywhere. See, this is where eyes kind of being a bit of a pain. Need to go up to 15. Just need to very careful. That. Got kind of like a weird flat head, honestly. The nose is kind of bounced a little bit. Got something like that. I hope this is. I hope this looks like Barioff. Feels like Barioth. Gonna add some underbelly. Stuff. Thicker. Just want to add enough to add a little bit under. Work in that area a little bit more. A little bit of counter shade here, so this needs to be thinner maybe. Something like that. Little divots. Want to add little itty bitty divots. Do something like that. A little bit of white. Add white. Add it thinly and consistently, actually. Just a little bit at a time. Just diffuse up a little bit. That. Left and right a little bit. Actually, I need to take this. Go just along the edge here. I just need to go right along the bottom. That. Lift. That looks really cool, though. I like the way that that's been looking. That. Sometimes you just gotta start blending stuff out and letting it do its thing. Look at how fun that looks, too. I love the way that the Barioth is starting to really inhabit the space. Like, you really get a sense that he's there now. Nice. Looks nice, too. Oops. pressing him up into there. That is really, it's just about adding a little bit of pigment. Add a little bit of pigment at a time. One of the toughest things is just letting it be, I think. Letting it kind of like take on the shapes that it's gonna take. I don't know, something about it. It's really difficult. Just kind of like let it go. Sometimes you just gotta. Sometimes you just gotta let it be what it's gonna be. Oh my god. I will say the really tough part, the really tough thing about painting a like subject for me personally is that like for me a lot of it is wanting to like make sure that things like pop and stuff, and that is difficult. That sometimes is really difficult. I think I'm getting there. I feel like I've really captured the kind of like saber tooth vibe that Arioth gives. I think I did do that very, very well. Actually need, yeah, this. Add a little bit more. A little bit more. Blend it out. I'm gonna go that one. Probably something like that. Try to get a little bit more of that ear look in there. A little bit more of that ear look. Yeah, I like the way that looks a lot, actually. That looks quite good. That looks quite good. Now, I'm gonna go a little bit like that. I need to Add texture. Adding texture. Just trying to be very... Maybe? No, that seems wrong. I need to rotate this image. I need you to be the other direction. I need to flip this image. Hold on. Do something stupid. Let's go to... In. Need to flip you. Resize. Can I flip? No. Can I just get a horizontal flip, please? Can I get a horizontal flip, please? I just need... There we go. And that's what yeah, I had the right idea. Part of it is the way that the nose is messing with me. Part of it is the way that the nose is kind of messing with me. Maybe something more like that. Oh, actually, the way that this is, the nose needs to extend out. That's okay. Yeah, more like that. Even the way that it is. Something more like that. That's getting there, though. That is getting there. It's getting close. All right, we might not be finished with this today, and that's fine. Just gotta clean it up sometime. He's got kind of a short face, too, as part of what it is. He's got like a really short face, which is really hard to account for. You want that to happen. Perfect. Just like that. Yeah, just like that. This looks good. I'm really happy with how this is turning out. It's looking quite good. Oh, don't want to get lazy with it. I'm having to scribble, that means I don't have a big enough brush. Always remember it's easier to take away. And maybe. Sorry, I just thought of this. It's like maybe we just have like kind of out here. A big old log. Just a big old log. Don't worry, I have this on a different layer. I just had the thought, I was like, to see how it would look. I do find it interesting how it seems that tree, like, stuff like that does better if you go the outside in. I don't know why. Give it a little bit of texture. Just like that. Little bit snowy. Little bit of a hard edge there. And like that. Make it a little bit awkward. Just a little. Give it some. Give your wood some kinks. No, don't. Don't tell Mr. Ross I said that. He'd be mad at me. There. Keep working on that. I might have to figure out how to darken up the Barioth a little bit, give him a little bit more definition. That's going to be the hard thing, is like I just got to keep adding to the Barioth. Him being a subject like that, he deserves a little bit more focus, a little bit more time. So that'll just take some time. I'll ask also, like if I want 2 more subjects, I'm going to add some Baggy in there somewhere. I'm going to add some Baggy. So we have technically we have I want 5 pieces of endemic life. And this is the funny thing is like endemic life mechanically is not what endemic life is. Technically all life in an environment is the endemic life. Endemic life is just life that exists in that environment. Barioth is endemic life. Popos are endemic life. Jindahad is endemic life. I'm going to add Baggy, which would be endemic life. And then I'm going to add Rhyme. I'm going to add a Rhyme, or either the Duffel Penguins or the Rhyme. The Rhyme bug beetle. Rhyme beetle? The Rhyme beetle? But I think this is about as far as we're going to get today. I think we're almost finished. Definitely one more I think we'll be done. And yeah, like I think this is working pretty well. And I'm starting to understand like some pretty core things, as well as like to better like be able to add a subject and stuff, as well as add my own kind of like take on some of that stuff. Because I think that one of the things that he does really, really well is he does backgrounds and environments great, but I don't really often see subjects in his work. And that's something that I want to provide. I want to be able to provide subjects, which means I want to learn how to do the painting aspect a little bit better and learn how to do, but be able to like have it still be like very me in that. So this will be a little bit of a learning experience of finally how to like do paleo art from the perspective of doing like painting, which I've been studying more. I've been studying a lot more of it recently, so this has been helping a lot actually. I feel like looking at this, I feel like studying paleo art has helped a ton. Um, and yeah, I like how a lot of different parts of this kind of like flow and like move around a lot. I feel like there's a lot of good like subtleness in there. I like the way that the like kind of the snow drifts are kind of like moving around a little bit. I feel like I should have added probably some rocks or something. We're just gonna go. We're gonna go with what works. Like, there's a certain point where if I forgot to add something, I shouldn't add it. I shouldn't add it because adding it will be a mistake. Like, I can't really go back and add anything there. I can't. Um, but I really liked putting Barioth here. You have Popos there. It really gives you the sense of scale throughout. You have the Jindahad in the background to give you a sense of idea how big the mountains are. You have trees kind of like coming forward to the front. You have these like darker sticks to give you a little bit more of an idea of where they are. One of the things I want to get better at is like understanding how depth kind of affects your perception of like of shades, because I feel like if I understand correctly, things that are closer have more contrast than things that are farther away, right? And that's what makes things up closer have a little bit more pop. And I'm really trying to figure that out. Like, I think that this front right twig guy up here kind of got lost a little bit, unfortunately. But I do think like things like the trunk in the front are giving a good vibe for that. The layers of where everything is located is helping with that a lot. So like there's a lot of good detail in this that's helping to really like start to really bring together a full painting of a biome. It's a painting of a biome. So I'm actually gonna move this real fast. I don't know where I'm gonna move it, but I am gonna move it. I think we'll just move here. Yeah, right around there. And I think we'll call it. I think that's good. I think we're good. I think we're good for today. I'm very happy with where this has gone and where this is going. I think piece this piece particularly is coming out really really well. And it's just got a lot of really good use of space, and it's got much better, like some of the best environment, like foliage and stuff like that. Like anytime where I'm at right now is up. The only direction I can go right now is up. Every time I do this, the next one, I've learned what I learned here that I can put into the next one, and I'll learn something new in the next one, and that's just how I work and how I encourage anyone to work. Want to get better at something. You know, like don't be afraid to try something. If it doesn't work, then do what works. That's fine. But also still try things. The only way to learn. You know? Yeah. I think this is really good. I think this is coming out well. I mainly just wanted to I was just like, there needs to be a trunk there. And this is the me side that I have to work on is like I probably shouldn't have put that trunk there. Like it didn't need to be there. It doesn't need to be there right now. It's gonna be there in the final product. That I like that, but it doesn't need to be there right now because I'm still working on Barioth. Barioth isn't finished. Um, but yeah, like I really think that I have something here that I want to do more. I definitely want to do more pieces like this. I definitely want to see if I can do maybe a desert one. I don't know if I'm gonna immediately do um another Monster Hunter. We'll see. But that might be something to play around with. I might do an actual paleo art next. I might find a location. I might relook up the Ingersoll Shale and see what I can do there. See if I can do like a paleo ecology of the Ingersoll Shale. That's the one that I studied when I was in college. I would love to do my own hypothetical biomes because I love creature design. So I would try to do my own version of that. I've done plenty of creature design on my own, but I've never done anything to this scale or this scope. So we'll see. We might do some paleo ecologies. And I love doing paleo ecologies and doing ecological reconstructions and doing ecological environments because the thing about this kind of stuff is this isn't just like artwork. This is informative artwork. This is supposed to tell you you are supposed to see this and be able to gain an understanding of the kinds of biota that exist in that environment based on what is here, both for Animalia and for plant, because I don't remember the plants. So yeah, like I'm really excited to do more stuff like this and to like really start considering like because the intent of a biota of an ecology is to give you a true sense of what like one or the most common things you would see in that biome would be? What would be a condensed visualization of what would exist in that biota? That is the intent of an ecological reconstruction. All right, I'm gonna call it. 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 I think this is good. I think this is a good place to stop today. I will probably spend next time polishing and doing everything else. I am really excited to see what more we do. Honestly, oh sweet, they are alive right now, so we might actually go to them. Before we go, I'm gonna do one more thing. We're gonna open up Bing Create, which is an image generator. We're gonna make an image and then we're gonna share it before we rate out. So if you want to participate in chat, all chat has to do is type anything in chat. I'll use as a reference, and then I'll add it to the prompt. Then I'll share the image before we rate out. So get us started. Peppering, no, salt. Remembering to salt the trees. Remembering to salt the trees. And remembering to salt the trees and add the large snow-covered popo stalked by the snowy saber-toothed dragon wyvern. There, that's like nondescript. That's nondescript. That's nondescript. Perfect. Okay. So, I'll go ahead and go through that. And then if you want to see that, stick around to the very end. We also do a bit of closing bit. We do raid after every stream. So that way the vampires in our chat, or daywalkers in our chat, keep watching. Just everybody else out there, make sure to go lock your doors and windows because it's almost dinner time. Daywalkers. Thank you for joining, everybody. Hope you had a good time and you enjoyed the show. If you're able to join the live show, thank you for stopping by and chatting and watching. If you're watching this in the future, thank you for taking the time to going back and rewatching the VOD. We appreciate it. If you're out there and you enjoyed this and you want to see more of what we're up to, I recommend scrolling down below and following or clicking any of the links below. There's a link to all the socials and the Discord. We post when we go live on any one of those platforms, as well as anything else that we're up to, and just generally come hang out with the rest of the community there. It's a good time on the Discord. Speaking of which, a shout out to our community on the Discord. You guys are a wonderful audience. We appreciate you. If we do anything particularly entertaining or noteworthy, feel free to clip it and share it on the internet. Just make sure also hashtag with MCCanary or link it back to the stream so people can find more of the good stuff we do here. And if you want to see the stream grow, you got to let people know. I appreciate that people have been talking about the stream, and I encourage you guys to do it more. It does help us out. It's just super rad that you guys have been willing to do that. And I just think that it's cool that we're doing things you guys want to talk about. So go tell people about the stream. Go tell your friends about the stream. I won't. And thank you to all of our supporters of Patreon and Twitch. Your generosity allows us to continue to expand the stream as well as take on more projects, and the stream would not be made possible without viewers like you, so we thank you. If you want to see your name added to this list, as well as a couple of the benefits, or if you want to see your name added to this list, as well as a couple of the benefits you get, you can always subscribe directly on Twitch or check out the Patreon page here and show you everything that you can get, and any amount is always appreciated. Once again, thank you. And thank you to Amods to do a wonderful job holding back the robot army and preventing them becoming famous. Just thank you everybody for coming and hanging out. Hope you had a good time. Hope you had a swell time. Get you through housekeeping and get you on your way. Check out the rest of our friends in Goblin Entertainment. That link tree has links to everyone's channels and everything that they've done, they've been up to, and the rest of my stuff is here. Everything that I posted to is on that link tree as well, so you can go check out everything that we've done in Goblin Entertainment. And stick around, we'll go ahead and head over to Paleontologizing. Go say hi to Dan. Still learning names. I'm bad with names. Not an excuse, though. Need to be better at names. But I believe his name's Dan. He's a great guy. He's actually on on site right now. He's on an excavation site. So we'll go say hi to him, see what he's doing, see if he wants to see the paleoecology, the fictional paleoecology I'm working on. And otherwise, yeah, everybody go say hi to him and have yourselves a good evening. Take it easy. Remember, just salt the trees. If you don't forget to salt the trees, then your art could look something like this. Is he salting the trees? I didn't think that's where the snow came from. I don't know what the creature is on top of the on top of the train is. Like these are all Christmas themed. Guys, it's fucking June. Guys, it's June. This is a friendly reminder. It's still June. Just started. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Oh, that guy's got like a little friend on his tail too. That's interesting. Never seen that before. Maybe I should